I've been so focused on setting up my solar backup that I almost forgot about final harvesting and the spring planting preparation I do to be ready for the next planting season. Let me show you some of the things I'm doing to get a good start for next year. I'll start with sweet potatoes. Last year, I collected these potato slips and planted them in a raised bed. In no time after that, they began to sprout vines that I put up on a trellis. So now I was ready to see how well this had worked out and harvest sweet potatoes. Last year, I didn't give them long enough to mature, and the potatoes were small. But this year, the sweet potatoes were well formed and large. So large, in fact, that I needed a tray to hold them. I did the same for the final round of Virginia peanuts. They were a fun crop that didn't require much effort while also adding nitrogen to the soil because peanuts are beans. I'll set them both out on the screen porch to cure for a few days, and then bring them in. Before calling it a day for the sweet potatoes, I began cutting new slips that I could use for the coming growing season. I cut the slips near a node that will sprout roots once they're put in water. These will sit on the kitchen windowsill until I'm ready to plant them. Also, remember those peppers you grew in buckets? Bring them inside and overwinter them. You'll get nice growth in spring from peppers you know you can grow. Yes, it might be cooler outside, but there are some plants that like cold weather. I favor red Russian kale and sweet peas, and now is the time to plant them. Collards, too, are a great alternative. I like to eat the kale and collards over the cooler months, and sweet peas are a delicious crop while also helping to add nitrogen to the soil for spring planting. Yes, the leaves are falling, and rather than putting them out for trash, I collect them to use in spring for mulch and ground cover. They cost me nothing and break down into good nutrition for your plants. Meat is pretty expensive right now, so I save any bones I get from those cuts to help them pay me a little back. Once I've collected enough, I use my Instant Pot to pressure cook and soften them up. I then let them dry out either in the sun or put them in the oven to remove any remaining moisture. And then finally, I grind them up into bone meal that is also pretty pricey. The bone meal will encourage root growth for plants in the spring and pay me back some of the cost of those high meat prices. So there you have it. The summer growing season may be over, but these are some of the things I'm doing to give myself a great start for spring planting to supplement those high grocery prices. See you next time.